Hello and welcome. My name is Alan and we are back with more notable names in Jewish American history. Before we get into today's video, I do want to go ahead and remind you I have two ways to donate to the channel if you are so inclined. I have a Patreon account, which is a month-to-month monthly donation system. I also have a coffee account, which can do much the same, but also allows you to donate single one-time lower amount payments. Do not donate if you are in financial difficulty, or donating will put you in financial difficulty. It's tough enough with the idiots in charge right now, and I'd rather you just take care of what you need to take care of first. If you can afford to and you want to, thank you. I do appreciate it. I really do. It's me, myself, and I that make these videos, and yeah, I don't intend to be taking take commercials because I want to try to keep my information unsullied and pure as best I can. And unfortunately, YouTube's right now not paying out just because I ain't got the numbers. So yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and hop into the video here. Today, we are looking at Dr. Henry Moskowitz, who is a co-founder of the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Right here, you can see an image of him from the Library of Congress. So, yeah. Yeah, an image of Mr. Moskowitz. Anyway, let's hop over here to the African American Registry. On September the 27th, 1880, Henry Moskowitz was born. He was a white Jewish American administrator, civil rights activist, and one of the co-founders of the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. He was born in Hus, Romania, and his family migrated to the United States in 1883. He attended the New York City public schools and graduated from the City College of New York in 1899. In 1906, he earned a PhD in philosophy from the University of Erlangen in Germany. He helped organize the Madison House settlement and was an active member of the Ethical Culture Society in 1907. So yeah, you can already see a lot of what he wants to do. He's trying is to try to help people, try to do good. In 1914, he married Belle Lidner Israels. That same year, New York City Mayor John Perroy Mitchell appointed him president of the Municipal Civil Service Commission. In 1917, he served as Commissioner of Public Markets in New York City, and he was the founding executive director of the League of New York Fiddlers, which eventually became the Broadway League, known for producing the Tony Awards. He would die on December 18th, 1936, in New York City, or Manhattan, New York City. New York. Yeah, so clearly had an impact. Trying to do good, trying to make a more cultured society. Civil municipalities, theater, civil rights. It's clear he saw a need to try to broaden the expansions of society. And let's go ahead and look at the Wikipedia entry here. Born September 27th in 1880 in it's Husi, Romania, and died December 18th, 1936 in Manhattan, New York City. Earned a PhD from the University of Erlangen. We talked about that in Germany. Married Belle Moskowitz in 1914, and she would die in 1933, so the marriage wouldn't last long. Civil rights activist and one of the co-founders of the NAACP. Born September 27th in Husi, Romania. He was Jewish, migrated to the United States in 1883, and with his parents when they migrated to the U.S. He attended New York City public schools and then graduated from the City College of New York in 1899. Remember, we talked about at that point in history, many minorities such as Jewish people could really look up to was graduating from something like the City College of New York and then New York University. Going to one of the other esteemed Ivy League colleges just wasn't done at that point. In 1906, he earned a PhD in philosophy from the University of Erlangen in Germany. Earns a degree from the City College of New York and then goes to Germany to get his PhD in philosophy. Married Belle Linner Israels in 1914, and that same year, Mayor John Peroy Mitchell appoints him president of the Municipal Civil Service Commission. He serves as the Commissioner of Public Markets in New York City. Public markets, weights, measures, all that kind of good stuff. For the city of New York. Cabinet level post appointed by the mayor of New York during World War I. And he was appointed in 1917 when we were just entering World War I. He was the founding executive director of the League of New York Theaters, which eventually became the Broadway League, who is known for producing the Tony Awards. It's just the National Trade Association for the Broadway theater industry based in New York City. Members including theater owners and operators, producers. Yeah. He was also an active leader in Teddy Roosevelt's Progressive Party. Very interesting. Yeah, remember, Teddy Roosevelt in the very early 1900s is president, hands it over to William Howard Taft for a term, and he's suddenly unhappy with how Taft has done things, and so he forms the Progressive Party, the Bull Moose Party. And he's like, yeah, we have to try to get back into office. Roosevelt would lose to, oh shoot. Who is that guy? I can't think of his name. I know who he is. Where's the monocle? Um, they say he got so sick his wife ended up running the presidency for the last year or so because he was so bedridden with a heart attack. Oh, goodness. I can't think of his name though. It is not wanting to form for me. Anyway, yeah. Uh, and it has he would die December 18th, 1936, in Manhattan, New York City, New York. Uh, there is a book about him, Up from the City Streets by Alfred E. Smith. And it gives a timeline. Born in Romania, migrates from Romania to the U.S. with his parents. He then co-founds the Downtown Ethical Society, a settlement house for poor urban areas in which volunteer middle-class settlement workers, yeah, UK and US is where they're located at. The next year he graduates from the City College of New York. And then goes to Germany, earns his PhD in philosophy from the University of Erlangen in Germany, comes back, co-founds the NAACP on February 12th, 1909. That same year, he is the associate leader of the Society for Ethical Culture of New York. 1911 investigates the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire, a well-known fire that brought to light a lot of labor practices that were just, yeah, disgustingly wrong. 1912 runs for Congress for the 12th District as a Progressive Party member. Well, 1912 rejects censorship in movies. You think back then there was a lot of push for censorship and stuff, but he's like, look, don't censor stuff. Life is too short to censor stuff. It's better just to explain life instead of trying to hide people's heads in the sand. 1914, appointed president of the Municipal Civil Service Commission. Also in 1914, marries Belle Lindner Israels, his wife. In 1917, he's commissioner of the public markets for New York City. 1925, takes a trip to Europe to observe the plight of Jews in Poland. And in 1932, is the director of the League of New York Fiddlers, which becomes the Broadway League, who produces the Tonys. The next year, 1933, on January the 2nd, he experiences the death of his wife. 1933, he takes a trip to Europe to observe the plight of Jews in Germany. So we start while Jews have been suffering for a while, Jewish people in much of Europe. 33 is when we start seeing the rise of Nazism. Hitler's become a prime figure. I don't think he's yet leader, but he's become a major figure in Germany. So yeah. and it would be a precursor of things to come. 1936, he would die in Manhattan in New York City on December 18th, 1936. So yeah, Henry Moskowitz. I don't know. Normally, I look for more specific lists of documentation. Britannico. I use Wikipedia because just the information is so widespread that they've almost always got something on topics, and they do try to source their material. I try to use things like Britannica or government websites, almost little to nothing. There's other websites he was mentioned in, but it's like finding a reasonably decent source just proved difficult. Like I said, you can use sources like the African American Registry because I'm assuming they'd want to try to keep things set on the more factual side. So yeah, they even list references, Jewish contributions, Jewish virtual library. I saw Jewish virtual library, but I was like, no, we'll skip that one. But yeah, just the list of sources were sparse that I really thought were acceptable. But we'll go ahead and end this episode here. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources, and it can't be tinfoil hat wearing sources or a bunch of anecdotes thrown together like my daughter's school friend's aunt's mailman hopped over the fence and it transported him into another universe. No. No. Thank you all for watching. I'll be putting my links and sources in the description box below the video. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.